The dangerous rise of false prophets on social media. In today's digital age, information spreads faster than ever before. And with it, the rise of self-proclaimed prophets claiming to have divine insight into the future. These so-called digital prophets use social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok to capture the attention of millions, offering predictions of apocalyptic events, prosperity, or spiritual enlightenment. But the question is, how much truth is behind these predictions? And what happens when their prophecies fail to come true? Today, we'll be looking at 12 of the most notorious false prophets to have risen in the digital era, their wild predictions, and the devastating consequences their followers faced when those predictions inevitably failed. 1. Harold Camping, United States. Harold Camping was perhaps one of the most infamous digital false prophets of the 21st century. He predicted the end of the world multiple times, initially stating that the rapture would occur in 1994. When that date came and went without incident, he revised his prediction to May 21, 2011. This time, he claimed that the world would end with earthquakes marking the beginning of the end. When the day passed without any signs of the apocalypse, Camping's followers were devastated. Some even sold their homes or quit their jobs in preparation. The emotional and financial toll on his followers was immense, and the fallout left many disillusioned and questioning the legitimacy of religious claims in the media. Harold Camping, like many other false prophets, not only misled, but actively destroyed the lives of those who trusted him. 2. David Icke, United Kingdom. David Icke, a former sports broadcaster turned conspiracy theorist, gained fame with his outrageous claims that world leaders, including the British royal family, are actually reptilian aliens controlling humanity. He also predicts apocalyptic events, calling for the eventual downfall of global elites. Icke's influence on social media and YouTube has allowed him to reach millions, especially those susceptible to outlandish ideas. His wild predictions, however, have never come true, and his theories are widely considered absurd. Despite the harm they cause, Icke continues to amass followers, some of whom become obsessed with his narratives, believing that they are on the cusp of discovering the truth. In reality, Icke's ideas perpetuate division and fear, leading many down a dangerous path of misinformation that undermines societal trust and unity. 3. Benjamin Creme, United Kingdom. Benjamin Creme, the founder of Share International, was another prominent figure who exploited the digital age to spread his false prophecies. Creme claimed that a messianic figure known as Maitreya would soon reveal himself to the world, bringing peace and enlightenment to humanity. Despite years of failed predictions and numerous instances where Maitreya failed to appear, Creme continued to claim that the world teacher was on the verge of making himself known. His followers, many of whom placed unwavering faith in his prophecies, were left disillusioned and spiritually disoriented when Maitreya never came. Creme's false promises were a testament to how dangerous it is to follow someone who makes unrealistic and unverified claims about the future. 4. Elizabeth Clare Prophet, United States. Elizabeth Clare Prophet, leader of the Church Universal and Triumphant, predicted apocalyptic events, including nuclear war, the end of the world, and divine intervention. She promised that followers would be protected if they adhered to her teachings. Prophet's predictions, which were broadcast widely through her books, media appearances, and religious broadcasts, never materialized, leading many of her followers to question the foundation of their faith. The psychological toll on these individuals was severe, as they had invested not only their time and energy, but often their financial resources into her promises of safety and divine protection. When these prophecies failed, the emotional fallout left many questioning the credibility of spiritual claims in the media. 5. Teal Swan, United States. Teal Swan, often dubbed the spiritual catalyst, has built a massive following through her videos and social media presence, where she promotes self-help, spiritual awakening, and emotional healing. While some may argue her teachings contain kernels of truth, Her more controversial claims, such as predicting massive shifts in human consciousness or the coming of a new world order, have not been substantiated. Swan's followers often find themselves trapped in a cycle of dependency, continually seeking her approval or guidance. Her spiritual teachings can be emotionally manipulative, preying on the insecurities and vulnerabilities of her audience. Instead of empowering people to lead fulfilling lives, Teal Swan's predictions and advice often lead people deeper into confusion, making them more reliant on her and her content, leaving them vulnerable to further emotional manipulation. 6. John Edward, United States. John Edward rose to fame with his TV show Crossing Over, where he claimed to communicate with the dead, offering spiritual guidance through supposed messages from deceased loved ones. While many of his followers believe his abilities to be real, numerous investigations have shown that Edward uses standard cold reading techniques to create the illusion of supernatural insight. His practice has raised ethical concerns, as he often charges for personal readings, leading vulnerable individuals to seek closure or comfort through a process rooted in deception. Edward's tactics highlight the dangers of giving someone absolute spiritual authority, particularly when their so-called abilities are based on manipulation and trickery. 7. Joel Osteen, United States. Joel Osteen, the pastor of Lakewood Church, has amassed millions of followers online through his messages of prosperity and positivity. His teachings, which often focus on financial success, personal happiness, and overcoming adversity, are rooted in what is known as the prosperity gospel. The premise of this theology is that God rewards faithfulness with wealth and success. While Osteen's messages are undeniably appealing to many, they also lead people to believe that material wealth is a sign of divine favor. This mindset can be damaging, particularly for those who give generously in the hopes of receiving a financial windfall, only to find themselves in even deeper financial trouble when their predictions don't come true. 8. Kenneth Copeland, United States. Kenneth Copeland is another figure associated with the prosperity gospel, whose ministry is heavily marketed through social media platforms. Copeland has made numerous outlandish claims, including the idea that he can heal the sick simply by speaking to them through a screen. His followers are encouraged to donate to his ministry, with promises that doing so will result in divine financial blessings. The consequences of his teachings are grave, as many followers end up in financial ruin after contributing large sums of money, believing that their faith would lead to miraculous wealth. Copeland's exploitation of religious faith for personal gain illustrates the darker side of digital spiritual influence. 9. James Maloney, United States. James Maloney, a self-proclaimed prophet and healer, gained a following through his appearances on various Christian television networks and social media platforms. Maloney often claims to have the ability to heal people through prophetic words or divine touch. His teachings promise that anyone can access the divine power to heal themselves and others, but these claims remain unproven. His influence has led many to question their own faith when miraculous healings do not occur, causing emotional and spiritual turmoil for followers who believe they are not worthy of such miracles. Maloney's teachings have sparked significant criticism for manipulating the emotional and spiritual vulnerability of his audience. The True Prophet of 2012, various countries. In the lead-up to December 21, 2012, a wave of false prophets emerged, claiming that the Mayan calendar predicted the end of the world on that date. Thousands of self-proclaimed prophets used social media to spread these apocalyptic predictions, warning that the end of days was imminent. When the date came and went without incident, these so-called prophets either revised their predictions or quietly disappeared from the spotlight. The emotional fallout from these predictions was vast, as many followers had made life-altering decisions, abandoning jobs, moving to remote locations, or preparing for a disaster that never came. This event highlights the dangers of relying on unverified and sensational predictions from online figures who prey on people's fears. 11. Rick Joyner, United States. Rick Joyner, an influential Christian author and leader of the Morning Star Ministries, has also made numerous apocalyptic predictions, including claims of an impending civil war and the rise of a spiritual army. His prophetic messages, spread widely through books, conferences, and social media, often focus on dire warnings about the future. His predictions of societal collapse and impending judgment have left many of his followers fearful and anxious, waiting for the fulfillment of his prophecies. When these events fail to materialize, followers are left feeling confused, fearful, and spiritually uncertain, raising serious concerns about the impact of such fear-based teachings. 12. The End Times YouTubers, various countries. There is a growing trend of YouTubers who claim to know the exact date of the rapture or the second coming of Christ. These self-proclaimed end-time prophets often create dramatic videos claiming that signs from the Bible indicate that the world will end in a specific year.